What's up, horror fam?
You know what time it is. Let's get into this.
Ow! Yeah, back at it again.
Yeah, baby.
The boys are back in town.
We're halfway through, guys. Halfway through.
Woohoo! So we are continuing on this journey through the 1980s, the decade of horror. In our eyes,
We're surfing the 80s.
surfing the 80s, brah. If you listened to the last episode, we did 84 and 85, which if you haven't listened, you better go back and listen to. There's some great films in that one. At the end of all this, we're going to do our, basically synopsis of the 80s and then give our top 10 horror movies of the 80s, which is going to be hard for us to do, but we're going to try it.
Yeah. These next couple episodes coming up are going to be crazy for me because I was really in my stride with watching movies and stuff. So a lot of these movies that we're going to talk about in these next couple episodes are like very near and dear to my heart. I mean, there's a lot of them. So this episode may end up carrying over a little long. I don't know.
Well, because we're not going to go in depth.
We're not going to dwell deep into these movies
because
but,
we're going to.
We're just giving you a list.
Now, our last episode we do, which is our top 10,
Yes.
will probably be a long episode.
Yes.
So we might have to break that up. We'll see. Top 5 and then the first 5 and then the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving on to 86 and 87, which 86 is the greatest year for the world. We all know that because I was born in 86. So
I knew there was a disturbance in the force.
as we say, you're welcome. So, ton of great movies in 86.
Happy birth of your year. Or year of your birth.
Birth of the year, birth of the birth year,
Yeah.
of the birth of the year.
Yeah, that. What he said. What he said.
So,
Jesus, this list is stupid.
fuck, dude, I know. There's a ton.
God.
A ton.
Wow. All right.
We
ripping the Band-Aid off here?
Let's rip it off, and where do you want to go with? Oh, I figured you're going to go there, and I'm glad you did.
We're going to let Ryan start this one.
So, this movie here is definitely going to be on my list of my top 10. We did and that's not out yet, is it? The Strange Frequency episode's not out yet.
I don't know. I don't know if that...
We did a Strange Frequency episode with Bill Van Vagel.
For Phantom Galaxy.
And Nathan Bartaball, who Strange Frequencies is it's like a offshoot of Phantom Galaxy, which is our podcast, which you guys need to go check out if you haven't. And we did an episode of Strange Frequencies.
Yeah, Strange Frequencies, what it is it really revolves around music. So when Bill and Nathan told us that they were doing that, we said, hey, we got a good idea. Can we be on the show? We basically begged and pleaded to be on their show. And
by begged and pleaded, I sent nude pics to Bill, and he automatically said yes.
Well, they were reluctant because they remember our last episode, and Ryan can't watch his potty mouth because he's a little fucker.
Fuck yeah, fucking.
But
fuck you, fucks.
Anyway, we said, hey, we want to get involved in that, and we want to do a crossover, a horror and music episode.
And that movie is Maximum Overdrive.
Hell yeah. Maximum Overdrive, of course, is another book written by Stephen King. It was actually a short story. It was a story called Trucks. And this was his directorial debut.
God loves this movie. God love this movie.
Fantastic.
I'm not going to
film.
delve deep in this because
the reason why we wanted it to be on Strange Frequencies was because of the soundtrack of this movie.
Yes.
If you don't know, the entire soundtrack for this movie was done by the band AC/DC. And I know a lot of you don't know who AC/DC is.
Yeah, right.
They did the entire soundtrack for this film. A lot of the songs were were previously recorded songs, but they did cut a couple originals just for this film.
Yes, man. I'm not going to dwell deep into this movie right now because we're going to be talking about it later. Man, Maximum Overdrive. Great film, fun film.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a movie to watch, you can watch this with your kids. There's no real, it's a little bit of language, but there's really no bad stuff in it like that.
And there's not a whole lot of gore either.
No. Great film, though. Fun film. I'll talk about it later. But Maximum Overdrive, you guys got to check. Emilio Estevez is in it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
So, we'll move on from that one because otherwise I'll just keep fucking talking.
Yeah, we'll just dwell on it forever. I'm going to throw out a little movie that a lot of you may know, and that's the movie House. We all know, if you guys have listened to our show, you know that I absolutely love haunted house movies, ghost stories, and this one's got it. Stars William Catt and George Wendt. Richard Mole was in this. He was Bull Shannon in Night Court. This was directed by Steve Miner. Really cool film about a guy that William Catt moves into his great aunt's house, and everybody in the neighborhood thought she was crazy because she kept talking to people inside the house, and come to find out the house was really haunted and very fucked up.
Good movie. Really good movie.
Really
fun
cool
movie.
film. Really cool. And the second one's not bad either.
The second one's not bad, yeah. Correct. Another one we'll mention here, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yes. Old Chop Top himself, Mr. Bill Moseley.
Yes, which is a fucking great film, man.
Yeah, very fun. This was a cool transition from the original.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Very fun film. Of course, you can't watch this one with your kids. But this is a great one. You guys won't be disappointed if you haven't watched this yet. If you're a youngin' and you haven't watched this yet, definitely check out Texas Chainsaw Massacres. But part 2 is really great. You guys will like it, I promise you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to throw this one out there just because it was a really cool movie, and I watched it a lot when I was younger, and that's The Hitcher.
Ah, yes.
Starring Rutger Hauer, C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Great movie. This is more of like a duel type movie. It's
it's like a warning.
Yeah. Don't stop for hitchhikers because they may just be fucking batshit crazy. Rutger Hauer played a fantastic part in this film. Rutger Hauer plays a fantastic part in everything he does.
Yes.
God rest his soul. But very cool film. There's a lot of really cool, intense scenes in this. Probably one of the most intense is the 2 trucks and the girl chained in between them. Yeah. Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah, dude. It's
Love
great
this film.
And actually, you know what? I actually somewhat liked the remake.
Yeah.
Remake wasn't that bad. But this original, great film, dude.
Yeah.
Classic.
And now this is The Hitcher, not to be mistaken with The Hitchhiker.
Yes, the Hitcher.
This is a different movie.
Fucking excellent film. I like it. Another one that you will not, be disappointed if you watch this one. Random pick, if this is a random pick movie for you, you'll love it, I promise you.
If you've never seen it, it pops up on a feed somewhere, watch it. You'll be thoroughly entertained.
Now, I'm going to mention one that maybe a lot of you have seen, maybe a lot of you have not seen, and it is Invaders from Mars. I remember this movie when I was a kid. It's a alien movie, but they come and they take over. I remember this, and the way I remembered this movie is because in the movie when the people are taken over by the aliens or whatever, they got this thing in the back of their neck. It looks like a screw almost with like a light, and it spins in the back of their neck or whatever. And It's got a lot of for I guess this movie for a kid would be more scary for a kid. You could watch this with your kids, and it would be more scary for them because in this movie, the children, the kid is like basically he can't talk to the adults because they're all aliens.
Right.
And so
Right.
what's he going to do, Turns out to be a really good movie. I like it a lot. Reminds me of when I was a kid. Brings back to that time. So
Yeah, another film directed by the great Tobe Hooper.
yes.
Who has done so much. Screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, who has wrote a lot of screenplays for horror films. Very cool movie.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes. Fun one.
Very
One
cool.
you watch with your kids, so don't forget that.
Yep. So I'm going to talk big one for me from 1986, and that is David Cronenberg's The Fly. This was a remake of the 1957. No, I don't think that's right. Honestly, that I say that. Vincent Price did a movie called The Fly, and it may have been 58, 59, somewhere around in there. 57, I think, maybe when the story came out. But this starred the lovely Gina Davis, Jeff Goldblum, John Getz. Great film. It's about a scientist who is figuring out teleportation between two places and inadvertently not really crossbreeds, but a fly accidentally gets into one of the pods with him, and he doesn't know it, and their bodies are fused together, and he slowly disintegrates. Or well, I don't know that he really disintegrates. A lot of his body parts start falling off, but he slowly transforms into a fly. And what's cool about this movie is Jeff Goldblum played a fantastic part in this.
Fuck yeah, he killed
because even after he knew what had happened, he still looked at it as a scientist and really studied how his transformation was going. And and it really, it's a love story between him and Gina Davis. But for him, it was all about the scientific aspect of him turning into what he called the Brundle fly.
And that's a true story too, not the fly part of it, but there was a scientist who was doing research on some kind of disease, and he got pricked with the needle, and he fucking wrote down and did a blog basically,
right.
Logged out everything that was happening, how he literally did that. He bled out of his eyes and his ears and was like all this stuff, and was just writing it all down, what he was going through, how it felt, what happened, and all this kind of stuff. It was pretty damn cool. Pretty cool.
And Ryan wants to talk about this one.
Was that Entrails of a Virgin?
I don't know.
They make those.
I've never seen that. That was a Japanese film.
No, go figure.
But
no, here's one I do want to talk about, and there's one you want to fucking talk about. A little movie called Trick or Treat.
Yes, absolutely. This movie, I remember when it came out, the big thing for this movie, the reason why I wanted to see it so bad, is because it had two of my beloved rock icons, Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons. I had to see this movie. 1986 was very strange. You probably don't remember this, but I remember it being a teenager, growing up, playing in a rock band and listening to heavy metal music and stuff. During this time, there was a lot of stuff going on in the media and in the world itself about heavy metal music being satanic. Whee! And the PMRC was involved.
Satanic Panic.
They were trying to censor everything, And one of my big heroes, Mr. D. Schneider, shows up in court. It was so funny. He shows up in court in a tore-up T-shirt and a pair of blue jeans. And he's sitting there with all these senators and all these people, and they're talking about how they're going to start censoring music and stuff. and he reaches into his back pocket and he pulls out a folded piece of lined notebook paper and throws it out on the desk, and everybody starts laughing at him, and he completely fucking schooled everybody in the fucking room.
Yeah.
Dee Snider is a genius, and he just laid it on the line and told them this is what it is. And this movie, it came out at a time where they were talking about censorship and all that stuff, and so it really held true to the media, what was going on. And very cool film. Basically a boy plays an album backwards and a demon comes out, a demon with a flying V guitar and a fucking thirst for metal.
Yeah, great film. I love it.
Very cool flick. Very cool. What was funny in this movie, Ozzy Osbourne played the preacher that was wanting to have all the censorship and stuff done.
Yeah, this and again, I don't know if the new one is a remake or not.
No, the new one is not a
It's
remake.
a complete different movie.
Yeah, it's totally different. Well, this is Trick or Treat. The new one is Trick or Treat.
Yeah, correct.
And then there's another movie called Trick or Treats, which is totally different
Jesus.
than all of them. But they're all Halloween based.
So yeah, well, while you're here, let's just go ahead and talk about real quick, mention it anyway. Troll. That's a fun little one you can watch with your kids. Oh,
We have a lot of those on the internet.
Not Trolls. Haters gonna hate. So yeah, Troll's a good one for you guys. If, you can watch with your kids. This is the fun little, magical movie type thing. Do you want to talk about Friday 13th?
We can.
We might as well, since you
Might as well throw it out there.
we got
Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I'm not going to knock it. It's not bad. It was, to me, was better than the last one. But, they're Jason movies. You got to love them. People are getting killed, and he's doing it in some really weird ways.
There you go.
Especially in this film. I love how, in the beginning, how Tommy frickin' accidentally brings him back to life because he stabs him with that frickin' metal weather vane or whatever the hell it was. And then the lightning strikes. That's what was cool about that film, was a lot of the effects and stuff that they did in that, when they show him and his mask and stuff. I am going to say one of the cool things about this movie is Alice Cooper did the soundtrack for it. Well, he didn't do the whole soundtrack, but he did a couple of songs for the movie, and the one song was "He's Back." Oh, but he's back. Very cool. There's a really cool scene in an RV where he takes the chick's face and shoves it in the wall,
dude.
and you see it from the outside.
That's a fucking great one.
It's just a cool scene. Very decent movie.
Yeah.
It's not the best in the series, but it's definitely not the worst.
So
yeah,
we'll talk. Go ahead.
I want to throw this one out there, just because I was down here and I saw it. I want to throw out the movie Witchboard.
Oh yeah,
Witchboard was a kick-ass movie. For me, I was very big into occultism, Satanism, Ouija boards, and all that kind of stuff. So this movie came out at a really pivotal time in my life, and it starred the lovely Tawny Kitaen, which, unfortunately, she passed away a couple weeks ago. We're going to miss her. She did some cool stuff. Of course, she was married to David Coverdale for a long time and did a lot of the White Snake videos. Very beautiful woman. In her older years, she was not that beautiful, but she was still fun, very cool film. Synopsis of the movie is they're at a party. They use a Ouija board, and she ends up becoming friends with the guy that's like the mystic or whatever, the oracle. And he gives her own board, and he tells her not to ever use it alone, because if she uses it alone, she can fall prey to what is called transmigration. And she ends up using this Ouija board by herself and is in turn possessed by a demon.
Yep. That's a fun one.
It's a very cool watch.
I actually
very good
just
movie.
watched that, but maybe a couple months ago.
I watched it a few years ago, and it still held up pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Definitely. I literally just watched it like 3 months ago.
Yeah, very cool flick.
Another one that we both are going to want to talk about is Poltergeist 2.
Poltergeist 2, yes. Continuation of the first story.
Yes,
but different.
But different.
But different.
Yeah, so you just passed it.
This is Poltergeist 2. It was called The Other Side. Of course, you've still got the same characters, Joe Beth Williams, Craig T. Nelson, Heather O'Rourke. Zelda Rubinstein reprises her role as... what was her name? Oh my God, I can't. I can always remember her real name, but I can't remember her name in the movie. But anyway, very cool flick.
This one takes place in a apartment complex building.
Yes, they have moved. Well, of course, the house is gone because it disappeared in the first movie. They have moved to an apartment complex, and basically they find out that they're not done with the spirits.
It's pretty.
They have
this is actually a good one. I actually really like Poltergeist 2.
It really is.
This is a fun watch.
It really is. And while we're here, I'm going to mention Psycho 3. Psycho 3 was probably one of my favorite in the line of the Psycho. You know, after we got past the first one, and the second one was a good movie, but 3 really hit it, hard for me. It was a really good movie. It was actually directed by Anthony Perkins, who, of course, Anthony Perkins started in the movie as Norman Bates. Very cool. There was a lot of iconic scenes in this. Of course, we're back at the motel and back at the infamous house. One of the cool scenes that I remember was when he hides the body in the ice chest, and the cop shows up and is looking for this woman that has disappeared. We'll come to find out she's in the ice chest, and he's standing there by the ice chest, and he reaches in there and he grabs some ice, and Anthony Perkins is watching him, and while he's watching him, he realizes that this cop is eating ice that's got blood on it. So, yeah, very cool. This was good in the series. Had a lot of star caliber in it. Just really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Let's see where we at. All right. So now we're going to move on to Sorority House Massacre. Sorority House Massacre, of course, is an American slasher film. It was written and directed by Carol Frank. The film follows a sorority pledge who experiences deja vu in the sorority house when a murderer begins killing the residents over a Memorial Day weekend. It's really funny. I had to throw this movie in there because of the Memorial Day thing. We just got past Memorial Day, and I had put a post in a bunch of our groups. I'm like, hey, what's some Memorial Day horror movies? And this one came up. And I had kind of forgot about it's tied to Memorial Day.
Oh man, you gotta love the old.
But
all these sorority houses.
This is in the same realm as Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
House on Sorority Row. All of those. The Prowler could even be put into the same context with these films. Very cool film.
Yeah, that's a good one. Another fun one that came out in '86 that I like is a movie called Critters. Critters, man. This one's a fun one. The only thing that sucks about this one, I can't let my kids watch it because there's nudity in it. But this one's fun. It's a alien movie basically.
Yeah.
And there's the Easter bunnies scene in this one. Classic.
Yeah.
This is a fun one to watch, guys. If you're bored, you just want to pop something just to have a good time, laugh about, see some cool shit. This one's really funny. You'll like it. Yeah, it's about these little critters that come down, and they're actually being hunted by these bounty hunter dealies from aliens who can take shape of whoever. It's pretty cool. You guys will like it, I promise you.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It stars Dee Wallace, E. Emmett Walsh, Billy Greenbush. It was directed by Stephen Herrick. Very cool film. You know, small budget film, but they did a good job with it.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a fun one.
It's fun. It's fun.
Definitely worth the mention. Oh, well, here's one you're going to want to, I know you're going to want to talk about. April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day was a great film. I remember when I saw that as a young kid. I actually watched that with my cousin. That stars Deborah Forsman. And I had the biggest crush on her when I was younger. I always thought she was so pretty. April Fool's Day is one of those movies that you really... you really don't know what's going on until the very end of the film, and then you're blown away. You're just like, what the hell? You know? I love the way they did this. Let's seclude a bunch of people in a secluded mansion, and let's start killing them off one by one and see if we can figure out who the hell's doing it. You know? And they keep pointing fingers at different people, and you slowly see Deborah Forsman's character throughout the movie like descend into madness. Like you can even tell by her face, you know, she starts going pale and her eyes start getting darker, dark circles around them and stuff, and you know, until you get to the end of the film. And very good watch. Very good watch.
You gonna talk about this one?
Well, I thought we'd mention it just because of the band. We're talking about Deadly Friend. This was directed by none other than Wes Craven himself.
Hey, look who's in it.
Wes Craven did a fantastic job with this movie. He did a great job with a lot of his films. But this starred the lovely Christy Swanson. Yes.
Didn't we talk about this in our episode with Greg?
It came up because of the basketball scene.
Yeah. Great.
This movie's got a really cool kill scene in it with a basketball. And if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, you need to watch it. But yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's a couple other ones I want to mention. Night of the Creeps is one of them.
Night of the Creeps.
Another fun 80s freaking just, fun horror movie.
Yeah.
Another comedy.
And that, so Night of the Creeps was really cool because it starred one of our favorite actors from, Halloween 3 and like The Fog, and that's Mr. Tom Atkins. He played the cop in this movie, and he was one of those no bullshit kind of cops. He always had a funny one-liner that he always said to people. We're not going to throw that out there now, but yeah, very cool,
fun movie.
Really a zombie kind of.
Yeah, it's paying homage to the. It's like the B-rated camping movies is what it's wanting to do. You know. So
yeah,
it's cool.
But it ends up not being so campy. Exactly. I mean, it's actually a good movie.
Exactly.
It's not like your Transylvania 5000s or your scary movies or whatever. It's not. It's nothing like that. They kind of threw in all the B movie tropes and it worked. It worked out really good. I mean, it ended up being a really really good movie.
Yeah. What about Chopping Mall?
Chopping Mall. So Chopping Mall is an interesting film because it's not really what you think it would be. Chopping Mall is about a security system that is going haywire.
Who'd have guessed it?
Who'd have guessed it? Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
Chopping Mall, I think, would have been up there along the lines of Terminator. No, just kidding. But people trapped in a mall, security system. What they've done is they've got a new state-of-the-art security system. They have these little robots running all over the mall that are there to watch the mall and keep it safe. Well, what ends up happening is these things get a mind of their own, and there's some human intervention there, but they get a mind of their own and they start killing people off when they feel threatened.
Hey, check it out. Who'd have guessed that one?
Yeah. And there's some really cool scenes in there. There's some electrocution scenes, some fire scenes, and just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Another great one.
Interesting movie, but very cool. And I love their cover because it's got like the grocery bag with it says chopping mall, and it's ripped and got blood all over it. And, yeah.
What was the last one I want to talk about, or just mention anyway for people to talk about, is Slaughter High.
Slaughter High.
Dude, there's just so many of those just corny, great movies like Slaughter High that came out in the 80s, man. It's fun ones. Just classic 80s shit.
And then while we're talking about campy, I'm just going to mention this movie, and that's Little Shop of Horrors. And the reason why I want to mention that movie in with this list is, for one, it's got horror in the title, so it's got to be scary. This movie is actually a comedy, but it stars three comedic geniuses with John Candy, Steve Martin, and Rick Moranis.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me, Seymour. Yeah, very cool and campy movie. This is one of those movies you could watch with your kids. There's a little bit of blood when they're feeding the fly trap, but it's.
I remember.
Maybe not, because there's a lot of sexual innuendo.
100%. I remember doing this play in school.
Yeah. Very cool film. I was unaware that it came out in 1986.
But yeah, guys, 86, great. There's
so many others we could talk about. Rawhide Rex. And,
oh yeah.
Oh my God. So Spookies was on the last drive-in the other night.
Spookies,
yeah. Oh, that movie was freaking horrible. Oh my God.
TerrorVision.
TerrorVision, yeah, that was a good one. Cool. Vamp starred Grace Jones. She was another singer, songwriter.
The Wraith.
Oh, we forgot about The Wraith with Charlie Sheen. That was almost along the lines of a Christine movie, but not really.
That was I like cars, dude.
Yeah.
Cars, so
he had a killer car. That's for sure.
Literally.
Yep.
Great film.
Yeah.
So
very
guys,
cool.
that's 86.
1986.
Amazing movies in that year. We're going to jump on over to 87. And then we're going to start it all over again.
We're starting all over with a whole new year.
This one, let's go down the line here and check out some of these movies, man. Well, first of all, Angel Heart. Mickey Rourke, De Niro. Look, what can
De
you say?
Niro played the character of Louis Cypher.
I wonder where they came up with that name.
Yeah. Well,
interesting.
He was the devil, so it fit.
But yeah, this Angel Heart's a good one. Can't really watch that one with your kids though.
No, but very cool and very well made too.
Yeah.
You got some star power in
that was when
there,
Mickey Rourke was in his prime too. Those are back.
Lisa Bonet.
Yeah. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man days. Which is a great film if you haven't watched. It's not horror, but
Oh, it's scary, all right.
Oh fuck, that's a good movie.
Oh, The Believers.
Yes.
With Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
Very cool movie. Helen Shaver. Robert Loggia. Very cool movie. Martin Sheen plays a good part in that. If you haven't seen it, check it out. There's not a lot you can say about this movie. There's a lot of from what I remember, there was a lot of possession and stuff, basically, his wife dies and he, I got lost.
But it's a good one. It's just one to mention.
But yeah,
that people should check out.
He lives in this city, and there's been a lot of child murders and stuff, and he's trying to figure out who's killing the kids, and just a very cool twist at the end. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out.
I'm going to mention one.
One,
I don't know if it's a horror movie, though. You tell me. I think it's more of an action movie. It's an alien movie. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a little movie called Predator.
wow, could you consider Predator a horror movie?
I mean, it's
Kinda.
more of an action. It's more of an action movie for me.
It is. It is.
So
I remember I was in Florida when that came out and went to the theater there and saw that.
I'm just going to talk about it just because I want to.
Do it.
And we all know which one I'm going to bring up. It's another fucking classic. Another film that's going to definitely be on my list, and it's a staple in my household. And it also has Corey Feldman in it and Corey Haim. And that's a little movie you guys may have heard of called The Lost Boys.
Yes.
I mean, what else can be said? I'm going to talk a lot more about it, not going to dive deep into it right now. But The Lost Boys, fucking cult classic movie, amazing film. Everyone fucking loves it. So we'll talk about that later in our last episode, guys. But that one's definitely going to be coming back, I promise you. I don't want to dwell on it too much.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll let you bring up something.
I'm gonna throw one out there. There was a movie called From a Whisper to a Scream, and the reason why I want to bring that movie up is because it starred Mr. Vincent Price himself.
Vincent Price.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very cool film. It's basically an anthology. There's 4 horror stories. Whoa.
I lost that.
Yeah, sorry, I lost my page there. It's, like I said, it's an anthology film. It's 4 horror stories brought together. Each story's got its own little twist. And they were all set in different time periods and stuff. Like one was in like the 50s and another one was in the 30s, and just very cool. Very cool. And I had to mention it just because of Vincent Price. I'm a huge Vincent Price fan, and if you guys don't know, I grew up in St. Louis. Vincent Price is from St. Louis. We used to hang out on the playground and shit. And
That would make him a pedophile.
No, I'm just kidding. Them's just jokes, baby.
We'll talk about a movie I know you want to talk about because it's one of your favorites, and that's a little movie called Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Your suffering will be legendary. Yeah, Hellraiser, very cool movie, and the story behind it's pretty interesting, too. The gore in this movie and the premise behind it and the Cenobites. Doug Bradley played Pinhead to it perfectly. He's another one of those where they've tried to replace him in movies and it just doesn't work. Doug Bradley's got that iconic voice and he's just got that look. And there's some pretty good stars in here too. There's just so much about this movie that is right. And a lot of people, there are some people that don't really care for this movie, but this movie, of course, was directed by Clive Barker, who has done a lot of films.
Yeah.
I want to get my hand on one of those puzzle boxes. I have been looking for one of those for years.
I like Hellraiser. It's just not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh, and I get that too. It's not one of my favorites either, but it is a good movie. But look here what we got. The following year, we got House 2, the second story.
See what
whole
they
new
did there?
cast, different director. Not as good as the first one, but decent.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. It's a fun one.
Yeah,
it's a fun one.
Yeah.
I know one that we both want to talk about because, I mean, hail to the king, baby.
Oh yeah.
Evil Dead.
I knew
2.
that was on here. I've been kind of steering away from it.
Evil Dead 2.
Oh my God,
Bruce Campbell. Come on, man.
you cannot go wrong with this film.
No.
We mentioned cult classics earlier. This is another one. I mean, it just, there's some campiness in there, of course, but this movie does so many things right.
Yep.
That it's just a great film. It's a fun watch. It's dark. It's disturbing. It's funny. It's what the fuck did I just watch? Kind of.
It's Bruce Campbell.
It hits all the emotions, and it's Bruce Campbell. Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king,
Grovey.
baby.
All right, let's hit the big one here.
What's that one? Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh God, yes, yes. And this one's hard to find. Well,
Extremely hard to find.
But you're going to pay money for it. And that is a little movie called Near Dark. So, 87 came out with The Lost Boys and Near Dark, which are two of my favorite fucking vampire films, and they're completely different types of film.
Yeah.
Near
Dark.
Dark
is almost like a vampire cowboy movie.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's fucking dark.
Yes.
You know? Lost Boys is a fun, just great film, but Near Dark is a great film, but it's just so dark and like gloomy and
Yeah.
and I'm not just talking about the atmosphere, like the way they filmed it, It's just super like I said, another vampire film. It's got fucking Bill Paxton, come on.
The fantastic Lance Hendrickson.
Oh yeah, buddy. And I mean, you can't go wrong with it.
No, absolutely.
It's a classic. It's a cult classic.
I watched this movie last summer again. I've seen it, I don't know, 2 or 3 times probably. It is super hard to find. I've looked for copies of it, and they're extremely expensive because it's been out of print for a long time. But I found it through one of the streaming services, and I don't even remember which one. And it has since disappeared.
Yeah.
But very cool. I mean, very cool watch.
Yes.
Very
if
good.
you got it, keep it.
If you got it, flaunt it.
But talking about part 2s, let's go ahead and talk about. There's a lot of part 2s in '87. Creep Show 2.
Creep Show 2.
Another great one.
Yeah.
You got Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Okay. Something I do want to talk about, and I want to know how you feel about it because it's kind of like your thing. Well, it was the first one, but Return to Salem's Lot.
Yes. Return to Salem's Lot was interesting. What I love so much about the original film, Salem's Lot, was the gothic feel of it. I mean, it was just there was so much atmosphere in that movie that you felt unnerved and creeped out the whole movie. Even when they were making out by the lake, you were still like, oh, you just. I love the way they filmed that movie and everything about it. The actors in it. I mean, it was a great film. The second one was really out there.
Yeah.
It's a decent movie, but it's not. To me, it's not near as good as the first movie.
Yeah.
They went a little weird with it, and I just didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first movie.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about Prince of Darkness.
Okay.
Prince of Darkness, another John Carpenter film.
And
John Carpenter's all over the 80s.
100%. Well, and look, I mean, Donald Pleasant, Victor Wong, Jameson Parker.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. Like, great film, fun. I actually really like this one.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, very cool film.
You will not go wrong with this one again.
No.
You promise you. I'm going to mention that one. I mentioned number 3 last. We'll talk about that one last.
That's what I thought.
But don't forget about a fun movie called Monster Squad.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Monster Squad, man. You got to love it.
And I actually have that movie.
Yes. Fun little, teenager, or not teenagers, preteens.
Yeah, they're
probably.
they're preteens.
12.
I love that movie because they brought all the monsters together.
Yeah.
You've got all of them. I mean, you've got the Wolfman, you've got Dracula, you've got Frankenstein, you've all of them. The Mummy. I mean, basically, what has happened is they've let these creatures loose in a small town.
Yep.
And they wreak havoc, and these kids have got to figure out how to put them back.
Another good movie that came out again, The Stepfather.
Stepfather, yeah.
That was a good film, dude.
Good.
That was a good movie. Still holds up.
Who was in that?
I like that. Terry O'Quinn.
Terry O'Quinn, yeah.
Great film, man. You can't. I promise you, this one still holds up too. I watched it recently. It still holds up. It still holds up. I mean, there's few. Teen Wolf 2, which isn't really. It's more of a comedy. It's all right.
How about Rock and Roll Nightmare?
There you go.
Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting film.
Blood Harvest.
Blood Harvest, yeah.
It's a good one. Dolls.
Oh, there's a Stepfather.
Yep. Dolls. Return to Horror High.
The Stranger. Is that where you sit on your
Yes,
hand?
that's exactly it.
Okay.
What about the movie The Gate?
The Gate. Great film. Great soundtrack, too.
Yes, really good movie. Slumber Party Massacre 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. A movie that people consider. Do you want to talk about anything else on there that you want to mention?
No, you go ahead.
So yeah, man. People consider this probably one of the greatest movies, or the best movie in the series. It definitely is one of the best movies in the series to me. I don't know if it's the best, but it's great, and that is Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Dream Warriors. Don't wanna dream no more.
Yeah, great film.
Great movie. You guys have probably all seen it. I mean, come on. Freddy Krueger's back, but now these kids are fighting him in the dream, which is cool. I love this movie. Great film, still holds up. And you guys definitely won't be disappointed if you ain't seen this. And even if you have seen it, watch it again because fuck, it's worth it. It's so interesting about the whole Nightmare on Elm Street series. The whole is that like every one of them had a different director except for the first one and New Nightmare. And
the cover art for this film too was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Dokken did a lot of the music in this.
Great soundtrack.
Just a fantastic film.
The thing about it's crazy is that every one of the movies I love except for number 2. I think they dropped the ball on number 2 and then they picked it up on number 3. It was like, okay, this is what number 2 should have been.
See, and for me, here's what's weird. I like the first one. I love the third one. And then after that, they started getting a little too campy for me until they hit New Nightmare.
Well, Wes Craven did New Nightmare.
Yeah.
And he did the first one in New Nightmare. Actually, I love Freddy's Dead. That's one of my favorites. I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I like all of them. I like all of them except for number 2.
Yeah,
the only one I didn't like was number 2, But number 3, Dream Warriors, great film. You guys won't be disappointed. If you haven't watched it, I already know you have. I mean, shit, everybody's probably seen
everybody's seen this movie. Yeah. They had to have.
But, yeah, is there any other ones you want to mention on there?
No.
All right, guys,
I think we're good. We've bored these people enough.
86 and 87.
Just a little snippet of some of the cool stuff that came out. The 1980s was a weird time for everything. We were known for big hair and booty shorts and great music and some killer horror.
Yes, and we got to do 88 and 89. There's still a lot more good stuff.
Yep.
And after that, we're going to give you guys our top 10. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned, guys. We love you. Thanks for your support, Horror Fam. And more importantly, as always, until next time,
keep it creepy.
These measures